Oh yeah, this is the best way for it to work.
2, 1, go. Alright.
Awesome. So here we go, Xarnax versus Shoobinator. Two relatively close together opponents in the seeding. I think I saw return there. Xarnax checked. There's a cursed belt, gold, and of course a key.
Beautiful start with the cursed belt.
So yeah, using return, the combination of gold and a key will allow them to start with 6 keys and check what's in the treasury here.
Though Shoobinator didn't think about that, so he is going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage right away, unfortunately.
Wait, what did he do? It says his MP's too low.
I'm not sure. He might have cast another spell by accident. Because I saw him walk out the door of the...
Oh, that's weird.
Anyway, Xarnax is stocking up on keys.
Now, McGrew says Shoob didn't have enough MP. Is that because of the name he chose, McGrew? I have to assume that's the reason. High Spirits is saying he cast something else by accident.
So Shoobinator has taken a little jaunt and found Cole, checking right away for the armor, of course. And trying to take it. Remembering to search, and found the fairy flute.
That could have been interesting if he got compensation in the form of armor and Xarnax didn't find it anytime soon. But as it stands, I just expect Xarnax to take a tremendous advantage out of this.
So Shoobinator has bought the hand axe, there we go. And is also level 2, which I should update that.
It's always interesting when you make progress but you're not getting experience. Shoobinator is going to look like he has an advantage for a while, and with the hand axe he could magnify that perceived advantage for quite some time.
And I'm just going to say right now that cursor is not mine, that is Shoobinator's, so please do not give me a hard time for that. So I did notice that Xarnax has taken the token from the treasure room, though unfortunately I wasn't looking at the window otherwise. Did you see anything else that came from there?
I saw Erdrick's sword.
There was a sword. Wow, that is definitely an advantage.
So we'll try and catch what the other two were when Shoobinator gets in there. But for now, the important thing is we noticed the sword.
He is obviously carrying a sword, so story checks out. And he's checking out what is in the basement, which I did see was a dark cave. I'm not sure which one it is. But it is the tablet cave.
Yeah, honestly, McGrew, I think you're right. Like, I was looking at the math, and I ran it like 10 times because I was confused by the result. I got a total of 30, and I could swear that 30 was not strength agility.
Okay, let's see here. It'll show his stats, so I can decide based on that when he uses the door, or the stairs, rather. I saw he had 6 MP. Still.
Yeah.
So, and how many hits? 49. And he is level 3.
So AGI MP. There you go.
There we go. Well, thank you guys.
So yeah, my confusion over the math was justified. I assumed Shoobinator meant to get strength agility, and he made the exact same math error that got me so confused. I ran the math 10 times to be sure. I think he saw a total of 30 and thought, oh, 15 plus 15, it's a 15. But no, when you go over, it's 16 difference, not 15. Despite the fact that the range goes from 0 to 15 on the FAQ. That's what I think happened, and that I think is really going to cost Shoobinator a lot. HS, when you get MP growth, you start with less in the beginning, and it compensates, like it evens out at level 7 or so, and past level 7 you get increased growth. That's basically what's going on. So now that the confusion is sorted out, we're going to try and keep a very close eye on what people are buying. Xarnax checking out what is for sale in coal. He also has the fairy flute now.
Though he had no money for anything in coal, so he'll probably buy a dragon scale, I would assume.
It's a long walk to the item shop, but he's making use of it. Hasn't found any other towns yet.
And Shoobinator is just grinding away. So I will pay attention. Xarnax has purchased the dragon scale. Will you don it? I'll have to wait and see.
My biggest mistake every race is either forgetting to don the scale or donning it right away and then wondering if I've donned it and donning it a second time.
Don.
I always do one of those two. So
And Xarnax has not yet donned it, therefore we are not allowed to let you know that he has it. We'll have to try and pay close attention to that.
yeah, you did great, MTI. It was great. As did Mr. Holmes. A lot of nasty early enemies around, but it's still easy for both sides to grind. Xarnax with Erdrick's sword is going to catch up very quickly in experience. That won't be a problem. Boy, that's just really a shame that Shoobinator's build actually made him miss out on that MP. This is the first AGI MP of the tournament we've seen, and I have to guess it's going to be the only one.
Is Xarnax's stream cut off in the bottom? Oh, it is. I apologize. I can fix that up right away. I will play with XSplit over here while Cardinality watches the things.
Indeed.
I must fix this up. Please excuse me if I do something funny while trying to fix this.
Xarnax in Breckenary still has no money, but is checking what is for sale. The only thing he could buy is a bamboo pole, but he would not. And because he's already gotten items from Cole, he's not going to go any further there. More nasty enemies. He could have used the flute there. He actually does have the flute, but I guess he was relying on high probability of running from golems, but unfortunately that only happens a little later. Still, at the very early levels, it's hard to run from golems.
Please excuse me as I'm fixing this up.
A Scorpion is much better. This will give capital Z level 4.
I will catch up to that in a second.
And there's a level MTI loves. 1 power, 4 response speed, that's it. Xarnax electing to do some exploration. He can definitely beat a Wolf Lord if it doesn't have any crazy tricks up its sleeve. It tries hurt more. He's going to try for the 2-hit kill, and he gets it. Another nice big jump will give him yet another level. So again, he's caught up right away. Still no spells gained since the very beginning.
Alright, hopefully Xarnax is beautiful now on the screen. I apologize for that.
Magiwyvern will kill Xarnax. So again, Xarnax is about 150 experience behind, but it's just because he's been doing productive things inside, and I think the things he's gotten out of getting through the treasury is going to constitute a huge advantage that's going to last him for a long time, especially if Shoobinator can't find a magic key for a long time. Wyverns are the first enemy to have Dragon Lord Breath, so they're not immediately accessible necessarily to Xarnax. Shoobinator's still strong with a hand axe. He was trying to beat a Druin Lord, and he can, but that one got the better of him. And again, I do agree with the idea Xarnax had of fighting this Wyvern again, but unfortunately the Dragon Lord Breath came out first again. Shoobinator exemplifying his only advantage right now. And he has gained Hurt more at level 6, so he has a lot more options. And that's going to narrow the difference that having Erdrick's sword makes, but I still think it's going to make a huge difference just because Xarnax has the lasting, like he still has keys. He can, you know, go into Garinham whenever he wants, among other things. Check the chest in Remolder when he finally gets there. Of course, Shoob will be able to buy keys in Remolder, so that one doesn't really count. And if he gets to Cantlin, he can get the coordinates faster. Over 300 experience separating them so far.
So
wow.
Xarnax did just find a new town, but Mr. Golem said no, he'll have to go back there again.
I think that one was Breckenary. I think he's been there, but yeah, he is trying to widen his exploration.
It's possible I did notice that while I was playing around with what the stream looked like.
Still lots of rough enemies everywhere. Not everything is immediately killable just because you have the sword and hurt more. Xarnax trying a different direction this time. He likes what he sees in an Armored Knight now that he has hurt more. And Armored Knights have Stop Spell. That's going to be really useful later on. So Xarnax slightly behind in experience, but has equalized in levels. We can see from this point the level gap is not going to, or the experience gap is not going to matter as much. But Xarnax still confined to a tight area. Unfortunate enemy encounters all around. This time the Fun Police get him. Meanwhile, Shoobinator reaching level 8. A huge MP boost is going to help him a lot with Hurtmore. And he finds Fun Police in Garen's grave. So he's not even going to make it to the treasure chests. Another Armored Knight, meanwhile, doing Xarnax in. So a lot of tight enemies keeping everyone restricted. This could be one of those seeds where every enemy you do kill, like an Armored Knight, as opposed to dying to an Armored Knight, will tip the scales in your favor slightly. Both players have their eye on Garen's grave right now. Shoob enters first. I'm very pleased right now that we have other than the obviously Xarnax has a consistent advantage, but he's behind in experience. For the most part, we're seeing a linear progression, and the fact that they're going to the same places means that we could see a very close first half hour or so. Unfortunately, Shoobinator finding that Armored Knights have DL2 breath in addition to Stop Spell. Xarnax doesn't know yet. And so I think he's going to fall here. Yeah, there it is. Funny start all around.
Yeah, as far as the disadvantages that Shoobinator had by not starting with enough MP to get out of the throne room was obviously a challenge, but getting Hurtmore so quickly will level the playing field a little bit. Now having the sword won't matter until later in the game as much, and as soon as he gets the key he will find it, so that will definitely help as well. Just needs to find Remolder to buy some keys, or perhaps there'll be one in the grave.
Yeah, that's the if he finds one in the grave, then all is virtually equalized, and we'll have a very close game on our hands. The sooner he finds a key, basically, the more equal things are going to be. But we also have to take into account, of course, Xarnax is going to get like a free level of strength, and if the levels progress like just in an average fashion, that's going to mean an enormous advantage. And it's just really a shame that, like, it kind of looks like Shoob made a math mistake in his name choice, and it's just going to cost him throughout, I think.
Yeah, it does feel like in most seeds the problem with getting to the Dragon Lord is getting your strength high enough. There is always a chance that if the stats go in a different way, that could be an advantage for him, but that is a little bit of a gamble at that part. But at this point, we can't really tell.
Yeah, if we're looking at all the possibilities, there's also the chance that the level that gives them the ability to fight the Dragon Lord will also be something like plus 40 strength, and it won't actually matter. So, we'll have to wait and see. Level 8 for Xarnax. That big MP boost for a lot more Hurtmores. Yeah, that's another thing. MTI might be right. Like, Shoobinator might have actually meant to put a U instead of a V. That's very possible. That would have given him a strength HP build, I'm pretty sure. And that could very well be what he wanted. The deaths continue. The experience gap has narrowed a lot, within 200 now, which is just 2 big enemies, or sometimes 1 big enemy, depending on what you're fighting. Nothing that Xarnax is ready to fight yet. But yeah, Shoobinator is not currently hindered by not having the sword, so we should see a very close progression for the next few levels, and that is going to make this race interesting to watch.
He could have started over to re-enter his name, but at the same time there's a chance that he may have not even realized it until it was too late.
Exactly, Dataplet. I really, like, whether or not it was an error on his part, I just don't think he knows that he's on AGIMP.
So I suppose they're actually on opposite seeds, as far as statistics go.
Yeah. Yeah, that's possible, McGrew. It's possible he's just trying something different. It's too much to speculate on right now. We can always ask him at the end. Shoobs wanted triple Hurtmore. I've thought about the idea of lower ranked players going purely for Hurtmore strats to try and get maybe even multiple shots at the Dragon Lord before the opponent can go. And, you know, I looked at the math and I just can't see it being worth it. Like, you know, you might get the one lucky shot, and that might be what some people go for occasionally. But it's actually a very, very low chance of success. Especially if you're too low in strength to do damage at all, you actually need 3 heal mores to land, and that's just not going to happen.
3 hurt mores to land.
3 hurt mores, yes, thank you.
Though you never know. If you need a 1 in 16 chance to get a big number on the Dragon Lord, and you think you're the 20-something seed and you're fighting against like the 1st or 2nd seed, maybe you think you have a better chance of hitting her more than beating them through regular play. Anyway, I do have to put Xarnax at level 9 here now. So, at killing this rogue Scorpion, Xarnax has totally closed the gap in the experience between the two of them. He'll actually pull ahead slightly.
So we've got to assume, purely from a math standpoint, that Xarnax has every edge going for him. The combination of the name and, of course, the keys and sword.
So I never did notice if Xarnax did don his dragon scale, but I will be paying attention for that here with Shoob.
Yeah, I watched and I did not see Xarnax put on the scale, and it wouldn't surprise me if he made that kind of mistake, because as I say, I made it all the time.
Oh.
And there's the scale for Shoobinator. Level 10 for Xarnax.
If I ever do see anybody open their stats screen, though, I am going to try and make sure I haven't missed that, but you never do know.
Yeah, that's a good point. If they open the stats, we can just check their defensive power. Yeah, so, Little Gremlin, your question, people's answers might confuse you, but what you are asking is essentially correct. It's 150 to 165, but the value was chosen at the beginning of the seed, so the important thing to note is that it's the same for both players.
I'm curious if Xarnax seeing the dragon scale in the shop will stir up some memories of things that he's previously purchased.
Stones of Sunlight Cave has the Staff of Rain for Shoobinator.
And I do not believe that Xarnax has donned the scale of the dragon. Though I think he wants to buy some fairy water, which you don't see very often, but we were just discussing this recently, and oh!
Oh, there it is!
Xarnax has donned the scale of the dragon. Good job. Just took a little while, but he has made it. He is now modest. I do think they are both naked right now.
Mm-hmm.
I could be wrong, but...
Ah, Shoobinator's found Remolder, so we'll get our answer as to what is in those other two chests very soon.
So despite falling behind in experience, this will help level out the playing field a little bit.
Xarnax ready to focus on full-on exploration. He's combed all the caves nearby, and he's made the benefit of everything. He's now strong enough to advance and not worry about too many things, so he's just going to be searching the map for a while. Axe Knights have heal and hurt, so if the Axe Knight is the mini-boss anywhere, it's going to contribute for a very smooth grind. Jay Coper, I'm referring to the other two chests in Tentagel. While we were fixing the stream, making sure everything was right, Xarnax picked up the 4 chests, and we only saw the token and Erdrick's sword. I don't know what's in the other 2. Shoob didn't have enough magic to cast Return because of his name choice. He started with 6 MP. So he did not have keys.
Alright, so here we can watch Shoob in what is in all 4 chests. So we've got nothing, so that should be an herb or a key.
Yeah, an herb.
There's the sword, which I will update shortly. There's the token, and the mystery chest is...
Another herb.
Yes. So it looks like no gold grind then, so I must update that to the sword and the token.
I didn't see exactly where the Stones of Sunlight Cave was, but if it's in an obscure location, it might take a while for Xarnax to find it. That's one possible plus that Shoob has going for him right now.
What it looked like Shoob did to me just now, I believe he went to the grave first, and I'm thinking maybe he had went down there to possibly try and make a potential gold grind. Though that's just my speculation.
Shoobinator also finding the tablet key first. Or cave, rather.
Oh, that's it. That's in Tentagel.
Oh, okay. Then I guess Xarnax has been down there. He must have.
Yes. Key
But
in the basement, haha.
Yeah, just a magic key. Xarnax exploring huge sections of the map.
You know, just going for a walk through the swamp. Yeah, if that is what he was trying, he probably is glad he died right away, just so now that he does have the sword, I'm sure that is a relief. Though also possibly a little bit of a worry, just because if he found it there, he might, you know, worry if Xarnax had already been there. I'm not sure if it would occur to him that Xarnax might have been able to use Return right away or not, but even so, you know, he could wonder if he found Remolder first, perhaps. But either way, we know the results of this already.
Xarnax, without the outside spell, declines to walk through the swamp cave and instead continues on from where he is. Takes a big risk attacking the Armored Knight there. I know he knows they have Fire Breath, Dragonlord Breath, and he was in danger of being killed there, but he took the risk instead of casting Hurt More again, and this time it paid off.
So Shoob's heading back into the grave, and Xarnax walks by Sherlock. Hello there, Castle.
Xarnax's experience advantage is pretty huge now. He makes it up to level 11. Shoobinator gets the fighter's ring.
And puts it on.
And puts it on. Oh! Oh, he got stop spelled. I'm sorry, I missed that one. That makes perfect sense then. Always nice when it makes sense. Shoobinator still with 2 chests left in Garen's grave. Meanwhile, Xarnax the Naked is checking out what's for sale in Garinham. He's very close to being able to afford half-plate. I predict, well, he'll probably get gold from the treasure chests above and then buy half-plate. But yeah, this should be a very fast seed again, getting Hurtmore fairly early and Erdrick's sword fairly early. Can only expect that things are going to go pretty fast. Stones of Sunlight for Xarnax. Still has to find the staff in that Stones of Sunlight cave on the map. And again, I don't know how obscure a location it is. We'll have to wait and see how long it takes him to find it. But he's getting, as I say, he's getting good exploration done right now. And that's where the swamp cave went. So if he had outside, he would have transported straight into Garinham. But he found Garinham in a timely fashion anyway. So with no gold grind, it'll be interesting to say, like, I assume both players will finish with a large shield, but you never know. Xarnax just tearing through map exploration. So I mean, even with what may have gone wrong with Shoobinator's name, you gotta give it to Xarnax the fact that he's just having a very smooth seed and things are going right for him. He overcame those early deaths, and he's on his way to a smooth progression. Another cave, this time at the very top of the map. He's found the Jerk Cave. And when it's on the edge of the map, that's a really easy marker. So I'll have no trouble finding it again, even if it's far away.
Might be a bit of a hike, but he is only 1 item away from that. Actually, now that I look at it, both players are just 1 item away from it. Being able to make the rainbow drop, I mean.
And Shoobinator finds the swamp cave. I assume it looks like he's going to walk through it. I never know for sure. But I assume he'll walk through it and get his Stones of Sunlight. And Xarnax still not using the Fairy Flute to play it safe against the Golem. That surprised me a little. But I guess when you're in the mindset of go, 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 and you want to save every, like, it takes something close to 10 seconds to blow the flute, so he just didn't want to do it. Also, I don't think Xarnax ended up buying the half plate. We'll see what he buys here.
It doesn't, I do not think he did.
Only 900 gold. He does have enough for the large shield, and that should carry him to the end of the game.
Which he essentially, I assume at this point, has to figure that that will be his final shield. So So Shoobinator has bought the half plate.
Yeah, I think Xarnax will get the half plate soon. But of course, after the large shield, he'll have to rebuild his gold.
Yeah, I did miss that chainmail, unfortunately. I'm hoping I haven't missed anything else.
Well, we've covered all the important items. We know that Xarnax definitely doesn't have the Staff of Rain, so we've got to be covered on all those. And then it's just a matter of weapons and armor, which the weapons are taken care of, and both players just made an update, one on armor, one on shield, so looks right. Oh yeah, Xarnax probably won't grind in one spot for half plate. I just picture him buying it if he gets up to 1,000 gold and enters a town again, like say he enters Gurinham to stay at the inn, for example. I bet he would buy half plate then.
Yeah, if it's convenient, you might check it out. But especially with all the death that's going on in this seed, you cannot picture that anyone would be able to actually grind their way up in levels to be able to get the silver shield. That's very rare, it seems, that it happens.
Yeah, I had a seed where, very recently, where I would have gotten enough gold to buy a silver shield when there was no gold grind. And I died twice or 3 times, so I never got the chance. But even then, I was surprised that my gold got that high, that the opportunity actually existed. I think it's pretty rare.
Yeah, if you ever really do feel like you need the silver shield, you could always go to the safe grind sort of strategy. But I think for the most part, people seem to just accept it when there is no gold grind and usually just go for the large shield. That seems to be the common thing, at least.
A long section of grinding while exploring for both players now.
Now, I had missed that Shoobinator had just bought a shield, actually, but I want to really assume it was the large shield. I do not know if Cole sold another one, actually. But he is definitely holding one.
Yeah.
I'm trying to catch a glimpse of his money, perhaps. Alright, thanks, High Spirits. Yeah, I was pretty sure that that's what it was. That is exactly what makes sense. And yes, his money would say that as well.
Shoob going to try the Hurt More on the Wraith Knight. It has a high success rate, but it's not so high that it's virtually guaranteed. I don't remember the exact number, but I'd guess it was somewhere between 75 to 80%, somewhere around there. So Shoobinator catching up to level 11. And he has actually narrowed the experience gap a fair amount. So again, a little variance here and there. We're still seeing basically a fairly linear progression as both players race to explore the map and find everything they need. So yeah, with no stop spell against him, Xarnax elects to double hurt more the Armored Knights, very wise. And I guess Shoobinator's going to use Remolder to refill his keys. It's a bit of a long walk. I generally wouldn't go there a second time when there are shorter options in Tantagel and Cantlin. But I don't think he's found Cantlin, and he might just be far away from Tantagel and need more keys. Xarnax up to level 12 in the meantime. Didn't look like anything significant. Attack power is already getting really high. If Xarnax doesn't find the cave soon with the Staff of Rain, he could suddenly see a big drop.
Now it almost almost looked like to me Shoobinator was considering putting on the cursed belt there. Very good strategy, not a good strategy at all, and also he didn't put it on.
Wow, Xarnax getting lucky running from an armored knight. He finds the shrine cave. This isn't going to have anything useful in it.
Oh, that's right, we do know the location of every single treasure box item.
Yeah, now that Xarnax has found this one, we've seen every treasure box, aside from perhaps the 2 lowest in Garen's grave. Has anyone made it down there?
I don't believe anyone's made it down there, though we know at this point that they are not important.
Right.
And Shoobinator has found Hawksness. I would love to add a cursed belt option onto the layout. So Hawksness holds the golem, and we did find the fairy flute early on, and considering they both have heal more, I believe that this fight should be alright, unless there is an upset of perhaps, you know, Dragon Lord breath. You never know.
Xarnax needs the refill too, but I suspect his next plan will be to make the fight in Hawksness. Yeah, I would agree with having a slot for the fairy flute.
To be fair, the fairy flute does make a little bit more sense than the cursed belt. But what if you equip the cursed belt? You need tracking of that, don't you? I guess you don't. So there turns out to be nothing in Hawksness, which makes sense that one place will have nothing because we know that the token was in a chest. So I guess then that would mean the armor is on the map, so we need to find Cantlin and get the coordinates.
And neither player has done so yet. Could be very far away. Oh, that could be Cantlin. Oh, that is Hawksness, never mind.
That one is Hawksness, yes. So they're actually in a very close area. Yeah, but the only person who would need the death necklace spot would be Tristal. He's the only one who ever gets them.
And he gets them a lot. So Xarnax tries a stop spell, basically finding out that the golem does not, in fact, have any spells. He can reasonably assume that now after 2 attacks and stop spell not working. It seems to have worked every time in the previous race. So I think that's a reasonable assumption, and of course the more the golem just attacks, the more he's going to assume that there are no spells, and I think that's correct.
So Shoobinator does make it to level 12 as well. With the Cursed Belt, you can get somebody to take it off of you. He is a guy in Breckenary. Though yes, actually equipping the Cursed Belt, not recommended. Though once for fun, at the end of a race, I did equip one, and it turns out at the end of the game, no one cares if you're wearing a Cursed Belt. They're just happy you saved the world. So at least they have their priorities sort of in line.
Whereas if you come back to the castle wearing a cursed belt and holding Princess Gwaelin, I am pretty sure they will still send you away, which is hilarious.
Has anyone tried that? I feel like this is something that I should try if no one has tried it yet.
I don't think anyone's tried, but I'm confident that's what's going to happen. That's what I bet on.
I'm confident that's going to be my next stream. Deliver Gwaelin while wearing the cursed belt.
Or, you know, try.
Do my best. I'm very curious now what happens.
I also seem to remember that if you die while having the cursed belt on, you will get into the castle, and you'll still be cursed, and of course it won't have any effect until you leave and re-enter. But you can actually be inside while, it would be the same as putting the cursed belt on inside the town. So it looks like Xarnax is electing to grind on golems right now. And that's always interesting when we see a player stop to grind before he's found everything he needs. Like, it seems a little scary because he could be grinding while he moves, and he does need to find things still, so, you know, if he's not careful, he might overgrind and take too long to find the resultant item and fall behind.
Yeah, actually, now that I think of it, I did do one thing where I had put on the cursed belt. I don't remember why. Was I just playing for fun? Who knows? And yeah, I do remember that. They respawn you. They respawn you with the 1 health and no MP. I always say that we should have a randomizer for fun one day where if you find a cursed belt in the throne room, you need to equip it right away. But so far, no one's really been up for that with me. Probably because it would be exceedingly painful.
Yeah, I've seen people lose races because they accidentally put on a cursed belt and they hadn't found Brecconary and couldn't find Brecconary the entire race. A pair of Axe Knights on the screen. Again, the experience gap is very, very close right now.
The pro to the cursed belt is that you have a stylish fashion accessory. Oh yeah, and you can sell it for money. So yeah, selling it for money is actually the best thing that you can get out of it, technically speaking.
Ah, Xarnax finds the Staff of Rain, and he knows where the Rainbow Drop Cave is, so he is now all set.
I believe, though, he does still need to find Catelyn and get the armor.
Oh, that's right! We know, like, we know what state the armor is in, but we don't know exactly where it is, and he's still gonna need to find Catelyn.
Now, I don't know exactly where Xarnax is on the map, but it looks like he is right on the east side, and I do remember the Jerk Cave being, like, very far in the northeast, so there is a chance he's very close by.
Simultaneously exploring while heading to the Jerk Cave. Unfortunately, a red dragon did an unusually high attack. Again, Xarnax with, I believe he doesn't have any armor right now, and that's the result. Empty Eye, Sparkover and I did an impromptu race. We didn't do it on SRL. We just did it for fun. I think we streamed it.
We did stream it, yes.
Yeah. The goal of the race was to give a cursed belt to Gwaelin, and in the process you want to fill up your inventory with cursed belts. So I had at least 5, maybe 6 in that race.
So Shoobinator has opted to save Princess Gwaelin. What a good day this is for me, because that's about my favorite thing.
Again, I don't think he's found Catelyn. He just knows that it's coordinates. So he's saving the princess in the meantime, and getting ready to count his way out with, or use Gwaelin's love as a substitute for counting his way out later. Yeah, I also had a seed recently where it was a hell seed. There was virtually no way to develop in the early game, and the only town close by had hand axes, and there was a cave, the Shrine Cave, I believe, that had curse belts. So we basically, I don't know about others, but I got 3 curse belts and sold them for hand axes.
I do remember that seed. It was a terrible seed.
Yeah, for a hand axe. The mountain cave has been found, and Xarnax says no because he has everything he needs aside from the armor, which can't be in there. So a nice to be able to skip the mountain cave, but Shoobinator will be able to do the same thing as well. Yeah, that sounds right, Empty Eye. I think you did forfeit in that one because you knew it was going to go too long.
Yeah, that makes sense. I believe that's the case. I think there might have been 2 or 3 forfeits in that. I think it was a larger race with a couple people forfeiting.
That's right. I think it was 3 forfeits in a 10-player race. Xarnax playing it much more safe now with 38 HP heal mooring, knowing that the Red Dragon can do in the 40s. There's 46, for example.
I am assuming that Xarnax does have the ring, just I never saw him get it, so I've just really been hoping that I could see his stats screen at some point, just so I could, verify. So
I honestly didn't see Xarnax go back into Garen's grave, so I don't know if he actually has it or not. I really don't think he does.
Yeah, that's why I don't want to jump the gun on saying that he has it.
Xarnax is going to kill a second Red Dragon in a row. He should be fine here to get 2 more attacks in. Yeah, there's a nice low attack, so he should be pretty safe to do this. Definitely taking the risk, and 21 was enough. So just those 2 Red Dragons boost him, separate the gap more than 500 between them. A very nice find.
And in all this, you have to wonder, where is Cantlin? It must be far out in the middle of nowhere, I have to assume at this point. Everything else seems to be relatively found.
Yeah, when I'm following 2 players going in opposite directions, it's hard to remember exactly what has and hasn't been explored, so I don't know where Xarnax is going to want to look for Cantlin, or Shoobinator for that matter. Neither has found it. Currently exploring the southern coastline. He's explored most of the right side. Shoobinator finally finds the Jerk Cave and gets the rainbow drop. Xarnax finds a dead end in the southeastern corner. And as I say, I think he's been alongside most of the right of the map, so he's probably going to look for a different area to explore right now. The terrain is sort of forcing him over to the right, but he is searching new area right now.
You have to surrender to the mountains.
Okay, he's found the edge of the map. And he's going back over to the right, so maybe he didn't see the entire right side. Hoping to find Cantlin on the very edge. Well, that's probably not it.
The one that is right beside the castle? I think
Yeah.
it is not.
Oh, the unfortunate dodge. It's either 1 in 32 or 1 in 64 that an Armored Knight will dodge an attack. And it just happened to Xarnax when he was in range of killing that Armored Knight. Fortunately, the castle is right here. There's very little lost other than a small amount of time from that death. It's times like this I always wonder how much other players are mapping their surroundings. 'Cause
Well,
if they think they've been everywhere, the hardest part is trying to trying to decide where to explore that you think you've already explored but obviously haven't somewhere.
There's no doubt about it that Cardinality makes the most detailed maps, I'm sure, of anyone who maps them out. I'm convinced of that.
Yeah, I have no doubt, especially since I've been noticing that I sometimes stop when the terrain changes a great deal at once, and I'm going to try and keep in motion during my tournament races and not let that happen. But I just really like having the detail.
Yeah, Shoobinator definitely seems to be choosing exploration over grinding. I assume just wants to find Cantlin and get everything else sorted out. But yeah, all those little monsters can add up, especially if you know you can kill them in one hit.
Xarnax going back to the right side of the map again. I think he's been here before. And he just might not remember. Meanwhile, experience continues to grow naturally. Xarnax, after these two battles, his advantage is going to be about 1,000 experience over Shoobinator. Okay, Xarnax finally moving back to the middle of the map, trying to find new terrain to explore. He took a big lead in exploration early, but if there's something that's hidden and he's not finding it, it could backfire if he doesn't remember where he's explored. Fortunately, he's still gaining experience on the way. Meanwhile, Shoobinator doing an excellent job well, it's the same thing at this point. We know he's looking for Cantlin. And he's gaining experience along the way.
I believe this will give Xarnax level 14 if my math is right. Doop-de-doo. It sure is.
Regardless, still not enough attack power for anyone to go and beat the Dragon Lord, so... it's not a detriment to anyone yet, regardless of the situation.
And it looks like at the very same time
Wow.
they both find Cantlin. So depending on what the coordinates are like, I guess we'll see how synchronized they can be. Xarnax does need to take a nap. He's a little bit tuckered out. But to compare, Shoobinator does have Gwaelin rescued, so he does have Princess GPS, whereas Xarnax is going to have to do his own work.
So let's find out how close the coordinates are, if that'll be a factor. Very close. Only 35 steps away. Xarnax will have no problem.
So it's a race to the armor. In theory. That will be... Shoobinator is definitely behind in the experience, but... it'll be counting it out versus Princess GPS. You definitely don't need the Princess GPS for something this close, but he already has rescued Gwaelin.
Oh, Xarnax finding out he has to go around a large body of water, so this won't be as easy as we first might have thought by the distance. Look at that. Yeah, he's got to find a way around that huge body of water. What he's doing right now is looking for his exact relative position to Tentagel so he can continue counting straight from here. And he's got it. So yeah, he's going to go south around this large body of water. Oh, it's bigger than we thought.
So at this point, I definitely have to assume that Shoobinator is going to get to the armor first. But again, we have to remember that he has a lot less experience, so that will also come into play.
The way Xarnax appears to be giving up on counting suggests to me that he might already have given up on the notion of walking around on his own by counting. And he might... oh no, he's going to try and count again here. He just lost it. He got confused, I think, when Repel lost its effect. So yeah, he is going to try and count it out. It's interesting to, like, I was talking about how both players would progress in sort of a linear manner, and when they both met at Cantlin at nearly the exact same time, and now they're both searching for the armor, we see how their paths sort of converged, and it's going to be very interesting to see what happens here. Xarnax would technically be at a disadvantage because he doesn't have the compass, he has to spend the time counting it out, walking slowly, and he also hasn't physically picked up the rainbow drop, even though he knows where the cave is. And to compensate for that, he has an experience lead. So again, it's going to be very interesting watching the two paths converge in the process.
So Shoobinator took a big, brave move at the Armored Knight, and unfortunately the Armored Knight killed him, so he's sent back to the castle without having the armor yet. So he's going to have to make the walk again. Again, with the GPS, there's still a very good chance you could beat Xarnax there, but it that definitely does hurt him. He really needed that time to catch up, so that is too bad for him.
Xarnax finally finding his way around the body of water. He's ready to go north and get his armor. It's just a question of whether he counted correctly, going negative north, if you will, or south before getting around. Sharlock nice and close by to home, so there's definitely at least one easy heal zone nearby. If they have to do additional grinding and they rule out Hawksness or something like that.
Well, Xarnax, what does your counting say?
It's not in the corner. Where is he gonna go? Looks like he wants to make another choice.
Both fighting a wizard at pretty much the exact same spot on the map.
Gotta love it. Everything gradually converging. It looks like Xarnax has given up on this count. He only searched one tile. But he may be off to save the princess at this point.
Though we will be able to see with Shoobinator exactly where it is.
There we go. There we go, that swamp tile, just one south of the furthest right tile on that row, the northernmost swamp row on the right side there, the right section. So that'll be easy to see later. It looks like Xarnax was nowhere close, so it's probably a good idea that he gave up rather than trying to search a bunch of tiles around. Still 1,000 experience between them, but as I said, Shoobinator now has the armor and the rainbow drop. So this race could end up being very close. Xarnax has given up and is going for the princess. Shoobinator, meanwhile, has found a zone with red dragons on desert tiles. He might just choose to grind out there. He's reached level 14. This is going to be very close. Yeah, before you see both racers' paths converge completely, you can't ask for a closer race than this. Very nice to see.
Oh yes, I did forget to update the part where Shoobinator did get the armor, but there it is on the program. I'm sorry, I forgot. So Xarnax has picked up his girl, and then he will take the nice walk around the thing. He does have the general idea of where it's going to be, so it shouldn't take him too long. But he does need to take the time to get home and get the Gwaelin's love.
With only 8 MP, I don't remember if he has outside and return, but he can't use them both right now, and I don't know if he has wings, so he is gonna walk out. Using the herbs to just make sure that he gets out safely. Nice move there, especially since he didn't have 6 herbs. He's gonna want to go shopping later anyway. And now that he's outside, he will cast return. So we will see how close Shoobinator gets to equal experience. I imagine it's going to be neck and neck once Xarnax gets out of here. It's going to be very close. And it's possible in a number of ways that Shoobinator could get an advantage just by being in Sharlock first. For example, he could get down to the mini-boss and find out it's an Axe Knight with those 2 weak spells. A lot of things could happen here. So it's going to be very, very close. And of course, we need to take a look at the differences in stats between the two. Right now, Shoobinator only with 3 less strength than Xarnax, although he does have the Fighter's Ring, so it's technically 5. But Xarnax won't be getting the Fighter's Ring, I assume. So that's another factor that could make this race extremely close. So Xarnax is going to walk quickly to that zone where the swamp is before he actually uses Gwaelin's love to see how close he is. Meanwhile, Shoobinator catching up rapidly. The gap is down to 600 or so now. He's finding a lot of red dragons, and I think he's decided he's too low MP to fight them. No, he's going to fight this one. Well, as I said, the difference between builds could be an entire level because Xarnax is going to have more strength, but he also doesn't have the Fighter's Ring, and that could make the gap a lot smaller. Oh, that's a good point. Mr. Holmes just brought up the fact that Xarnax didn't only not have Erdrick's armor, he didn't have any armor for this entire time. But yeah, it wasn't a big deal. He had plenty of attacking and defending resources.
There's a chance we did miss him purchasing something, but I don't think we did.
I don't think so either. Xarnax finally using the Fairy Flute on a golem, but this time it's because he wants to attack it. So you can already see how close the experience gap has gotten. Of course, Xarnax is fighting an enemy that will give 255, but it takes a while.
And he still does need to make the trek out to catch the Rainbow Drop. He will be able to get some experience on the way there, but Shoobinator, who is obviously just focused on grinding right now, he will be gaining the experience much faster.
So the question could come down to, like, if Shoobinator jumps ahead in experience, will he have enough to go at the same level Xarnax can go at? That's what it's going to come down to ultimately.
And looks like one more enemy for Shoobinator to level, if I saw his experience properly. Yes, the red dragon would do that, but he is opting not to fight him, and now he will be going back home to see the king for a moment and his lovely lady.
I'm a little bit confused by the coordinates I just saw. I'm not really sure why I don't see swamp nearby.
It should be just to the north, I believe.
Oh, right, because it was 10. It said 10 to the north, and he's got to go 6 to the north, so he's in the south. That's what I was missing.
Yeah.
That makes perfect sense. I haven't used Gwaelin's Love in a very long time. I recently found the token over 120 steps away in a seed. So I'm pretty much comfortable not saving the princess.
I am very comfortable saving the princess. She's my girl. Also, I might be bad at counting.
Xarnax is having the same problem. See, he's got to go 6 north, and Gwaelin's Love is saying he's got to go 6 north. So he's confused about the coordinates. He thinks it's on this square. I think he just realized his mistake, and now he's going up to get it.
Shoobinator has reached level 15, and Xarnax will be finding the armor.
Next stop is the Rainbow Drop Cave.
Congratulations, you have more than a dragon scale to cover yourself up with.
Xarnax, I'm not sure why he wants to go in there. Maybe the Swamp Cave would take him closer to the Rainbow Drop Cave. That would make sense.
That, or he might forget where the Rainbow Drop Cave is.
Either way, I'm kind of disappointed that he forgot to buy herbs with that item shop that's the best item shop for buying herbs, essentially. Other than in Cantlin, when if you stay at the inn, you're going on the way out and there's a shop on the way. That's pretty much the same thing. But yeah, Xarnax still maintaining about an equal position in experience. Can he maintain it in the process of getting the Rainbow Drop? As expected, both players have large shields, and that's not going to change. Xarnax heading south, and we know the Rainbow Drop is right on the north edge of the land, so yeah, he might have forgotten where it was entirely.
Yeah, northeast, I believe. So this is definitely going to be costing him some time, especially while Shoobinator is grinding away. They're fighting an Axonite at the same time, and look at that, they're, what, 16 experience apart?
Very close. It is possible Xarnax is doing something that I didn't think of, that I've overlooked. I just can't imagine what it would be. I think he might have forgotten where the Rainbow Drop Cave is.
That is unfortunately what it looks like, so if he doesn't find it soon, that could definitely spell out some trouble for him.
Blue Dragon's also emitting Dragon Lord Breath.
Thank you, new armor. It doesn't hurt quite as much.
Yeah, when you're walking into Sharlock, it becomes a much bigger problem than it is when you're grinding.
So, for the moment, Shoobinator has pulled ahead in experience, and especially with Xarnax dying there, that will be possibly the tipping point for this.
So yeah, it's unfortunate if Xarnax doesn't remember where the drop cave is. I don't see a way that he'll be able to catch up if he's just looking around for it.
Did save 2 seconds there, casting return on the way out of the castle.
That's true. But yeah, he's going south again.
Yeah, it looks like there is a very good chance he does not remember where the jerk is.
Shoobinator finding great grinding opportunity walking through Sharlock. I have to assume he's going to look at what the mini-boss is. There isn't really any reason for him to go through Sharlock. He doesn't need to find anything in the chests. He's the one who has the fighter's ring already. So he's got absolutely everything. And Xarnax, unfortunately, not only not knowing where the jerk cave is, but going in the opposite direction is very unfortunate. He's now on the very bottom edge of the map. Yeah, we saw Xarnax find the Rainbow Drop Cave very early on. He might think it's in Garinham. That might be the reason he came down here. It looks like he's going to get keys.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. I don't remember what was down there.
It was the swamp cave north.
Swamp. Oh, that is right. Though he did not take the swamp cave south into the north exit to go in there, so maybe he doesn't quite make that connection.
Possible. So yeah, either way, Shoobinator getting a big advantage in experience here. So again, whether or not Xarnax can catch up, it totally depends on if Shoobinator can get enough strength from one level to be able to go and beat the Dragon Lord at the same level that Xarnax could. Otherwise, he's going to have to build an extra level, and that could still even the playing field. We'll just have to wait and see.
Yeah, it's definitely not over. It just really depends on what the race is going to bring. Or what the levels will bring, rather. So I'm kind of curious about Xarnax's decision to go fight the Golem right now when he still needs to find the Jerk Cave, but maybe he feels like getting another level will help him? Let's see, I believe Shoobinator will be two more enemies to kill. Well, one more after this until he gets his next level.
So we'll see what happens at level 16.
Yes, this Axe Knight will definitely do it for him.
Let's let the stats reveal first.
Courage and wit.
5 power brings him close, but not close enough.
Not quite. But he is getting there. And it still looks like he just really wants to find out what the mini-boss is.
Yeah, that's also possible, Mr. Holmes. If he realized that he needs to go north, he might have just been death warping and making the most of it down there in the meantime. But no, it looks like he's walking south again. If he's convinced that it's in the south somewhere, I don't see him finding it anytime soon.
So I can't picture Shoobinator considering fighting the Dragon Lord, considering he's been using MP, but we do get to find out, I assume we'll get to find out what the mini-boss will be, so perhaps that'll be a good, fast leveling guy.
Yeah, again, if it's an Axe Knight, not only will Shoob stay there to fight, but he could last a long time with how much MP he has in the grind there. Because they just have Hurt, and I believe the other one is Stop Spell. It might be Heal and Hurt. That actually sounds right, but either way, it's 2 spells that are not dangerous.
And it's a Golem, which I believe that was the same as in Hawksness, yes?
Yes.
Yeah, so obviously no advantage here versus there, other than perhaps the location, but I have a feeling he probably won't want to fight the Golems, but you never know. They are worth a lot of experience, so they do take some time.
Yeah, it'll be interesting if he decides to or not. I think personally, just the quality of the fights he was getting around, I think I would just grind on the desert tiles around here. But he might go for the 255 experience lure each time.
So it does look like Xarnax has decided that he is not looking for Garinham for the Jerk, which is proper. He is seemingly heading further north, so perhaps this will connect over the Jerk Cave for him?
And again, if Shoobinator is going to need one more level than Xarnax, we are still going to see a very close finish here.
There do seem to be a lot of Axe Knights down here, so that's definitely working in his favor. He's got about 1,500, well, 1,400-ish experience to go until his next level. And after this, he definitely, well, if it's the next level, he will have to leave the castle so he can heal his MP before considering fighting the Dragon Lord. So there will be a walk back.
Two very intense races tonight. I love it. The previous race, both players finishing within a minute of each other and on one level separate from each other. And this race could be very similar. Now that is not... Oh, that is the jerk cave.
That will be the jerk cave. Xarnax must be very relieved right now. He will make the rainbow drop.
I didn't see the coast yet, but by the time he entered, the coast came into view. Now he's walking right now. I'm kind of surprised he's not casting return. Whether or not he wants to grind in Charlock, both of the grind zones are south of him and south of Tentagel, so... Well, he's found red dragons. Maybe he'll grind out here.
So it does look like Xarnax is heading his way over to Charlock. He did still need to buy herbs, though, didn't he?
Yes.
So perhaps that is his plan. It sure looks like it.
Still not getting herbs. His mind must just be focused on continuing the grind right now. Shoobinator indeed has elected to build on the desert tiles on the bottom floor. And Xarnax also rejecting a golem is basically making the same decision. So in the previous race, Tristal played Ouija Wee. Ouija Wee went one level earlier than Tristal, and he succeeded on the very last possible attack for the win. Within, I think he was just they were 40 seconds apart, maybe even less. And yes, Meowth won over Sparkover before that. That one I didn't get to see. Just got home a few minutes after it ended.
Yeah, our race wasn't as close as the other one, but it was a beautiful battle of little Ds.
Little D hype.
And Shoob did just hit level 17.
I'm just going to take a look at the math here. I assume he's not ready to go yet, but I'll math that out anyway. Oh, actually, yeah. Shoobinator is strong enough, and he might not realize it. So another possibility for Xarnax to equalize here. I would definitely go in Shoobinator's position, but it looks like he is going to try and gain an extra level. Yeah, he's got enough HP to expect perhaps a couple double attacks as well, but I don't think he even needs them. I think this is a very clear decision to go at level 17. Meanwhile, Xarnax appears to be on his way as well at level 16. He actually has the same attack power right now, and 12 heal mores, so let's just take a look at the math again. I like his chances as well.
Yeah, and he hasn't used any MP yet, so it definitely does look like he could be considering going.
Yeah, that appears to be his intention. And I believe it's going to win for him. Of course, Shoobinator couldn't have exited, healed, and re-entered and won before Xarnax, but still, very good of Xarnax to make the right decision with 126 attack power. With the stats he has, he is strong enough, and so is Shoobinator, but Shoobinator is choosing to grind for an extra level.
Yeah, so assuming Xarnax can make it happen here, then that would be it. Because if Shoobinator wants another level, it looks like he's about 1200-ish experience away from a new one. And he is walking back and forth on the swamp tiles now. I'm not sure what he's doing that for.
He might just be trying to heal back damage, but of course he could use Plains tiles But yeah, he was low in HP, so that makes sense.
Alright, that does make sense then. You are smart.
No races planned after this. I don't think there's another tournament match scheduled. I would enjoy playing a race after this, if anyone else wants to.
I will go to bed after this. I will have a race to see who can go to bed first.
So yeah, Xarnax does not have huge agility right now, but it's a very good number for getting away from Armored Knights and decent for getting away from Red Dragons. So this is a perfectly reasonable attempt. Again, I think he might not have full herbs right now. Yeah, he's down to 2 herbs now. Just one oversight not buying 3 more herbs. But he might not need them. It all depends on what happens on the bottom floor.
Xarnax is deciding it's time to go look in the treasury. I assume he is looking for the fighter's ring, which he will not find.
Yeah, I also assume he wants extra herbs, so the combination of those two, I cannot blame him for going into the treasury and trying to find at least one. There is 1 herb there.
Thy torch.
Just 1 herb, but that could be significant. Now Shoobinator at this point, even if he is choosing to go to the next level, he could get it on the way down. So he is going to go into Sharlock with, I assume, the intent of going down to the bottom floor and winning, regardless of how he does it.
Yeah, as long as he doesn't use any MP in this going down, he could have a chance if Xarnax doesn't make it. Very good chance if Xarnax doesn't make it, but we will have to see about this shortly. He is about, looks like, I believe, 800 experience away from the level. A red dragon would definitely help with that.
Now Xarnax started fighting his way down just because of having trouble with running from certain enemies, but at this point he's so close to the next level, I bet he just gets the next level anyway. It's just too close to resist. He's now about 800 experience away at the end of this battle, so I think he's going to finish off the level and have, you know, if there was any ambiguity, he's going to have an automatic Dragon Lord win, most likely. Like, I wouldn't be surprised. Okay, he is running from the Red Dragon. I wouldn't have been surprised if he fought that out with the intention of purposely using up 1 heal more and expecting to win regardless because of the level up. Shoobinator not too far behind. Again, it's all going to come down to Xarnax's success here. Whether or not he beats the Dragon Lord will be the deciding factor in this race. I have to assume Shoobinator will win if Xarnax does not beat the Dragon Lord here.
And he doesn't know it yet, but we know that Xarnax is going to be fighting a golem for the mini-boss, so that'll help in his experience too.
That's right, a required kill will put him right in range, and I think at that point he'll make the decision to finish off the level. If there's any doubt at this point, I think that'll be the tipping point.
Yeah, I definitely think he's close enough that he's definitely thinking about that, so it's a good choice on his part. And an excellent move on the Green Dragon definitely will help his cause there.
Yeah, you can already tell he's made the decision, and the Golem is one of the enemies that will make it automatic. He'll basically be 1 enemy away. He just wants to heal his HP back, and he did heal most of it before finding this Armored Knight. Oh, he's choosing to fight it. And getting lucky at getting a lot of stop spells. Ooh, there was an unfortunate dodge.
Yeah, always the problem with trying to walk back your health in Sharlock. The Armored Knights never want you to be able to be successful in that.
He has no spare heals. The good news is, once, if everything goes okay against, like, let's say he keeps the Golem asleep and doesn't take any damage, he is probably going to get, you know, a significant quantity of attack power that will make him say, well, I can burn a heal more, and I don't have to walk around anymore. But we'll see. That's the 3rd time he's tried to use the wrong item in this type of situation. He used Edric's token instead of Gwaelin's love at one point.
And that can be very dangerous if you start trying to use your dragon scale in the middle of a golem battle. And he gets an excellent move. That is going to help him quite a bit.
So yeah, here again, if we see something like an attack power increase of 5 or more, I fully expect him to burn a heal more for speed. And there is 5. So will he use the heal more? I think he's going to walk up and use it. No, he's walking back HP.
He is being brave.
It's working so far. Again, if he doesn't run into a red dragon, he should be fine. He uses an herb to finish off the rest. Again, even if he runs out of herbs here, he's just so much stronger now than the previous level when he still could have won that he's just going to have no problems. So whether or not he gets back attacked, whether or not he has to burn a heal more, I believe Xarnax is about to win this race.
Yeah, he should definitely be fine in the situation he's in. Very close race, though, all things considered, and the way things went back and forth, that was very interesting.
Very well done by Shoobinator, and not far behind despite building an extra level. I think he'll be fighting Dragon Lord 2 when Xarnax is heading back to the castle. Very smart choice by Xarnax to burn off that first heal more. I believe he's going to be absolutely fine here. Oh, I have this. He's got a great damage range here. And there's a low attack, so he's going to get a double attack here. And those are what make all the difference, usually. But as I say, he's totally in a comfort zone here. It's basically an automatic win. But he attacks at 48 HP. Scary moment, but he lives. Another Fire Breath here, and he's going to have to burn another heal more. Just an unfortunate low heal more before that. But as I say, I think he's going to be fine. His damage range is 7 to 15 at this point. And yeah, he's got 4 heal mores left. He's done 112 damage, so it's automatic at this point. Not 100% guaranteed, but he's gonna win a vast majority of the time here. Still getting low rolls, making it somewhat ambiguous. And the Dragon Lord's still breathing a lot of fire. Oh, there's a 15. Looking good. 20 damage away from maximum, and he might be able to do 3 attacks here. It's looking like 3 attacks.
14 is...
So, yeah, he's done 159. This next attack is guaranteed to win, and that's it. Congratulations to Xarnax.
Xarnax has found the ball of light.
And yeah, Shoob just starting DL2. Again, a great race, very interesting all the way through. You couldn't have asked for a closer finish. Very nice linear progression between the two, nice convergence and everything. Xarnax having to wait for the girl to talk, and that's it. So yeah, we said that it would take about 15 attacks to kill the Dragon Lord at the previous level. Xarnax got a level up with 5 power, but the Dragon Lord had at least, at a very minimum, 160 HP, so that sort of compensated for that, and he still needed to do 15 attacks. Xarnax was definitely getting low rolls. I was taking a look at all of them, and so on the high end of the spectrum, he got a 15 and 3 14s, and the rest was all much lower. No 13s, no 12s, and then 2 11s, 2 10s, 2 9s, and 8 and 2 7s. So definitely weighted towards the lower end of the scale. But again, even getting back attacked, he just had so much extra from that 5 power boost that he had nothing to worry about.
I'm seeing if either of them want to come into Discord for post-race chat. I suppose I can stop this timer. Shoobinator says he'll come in a bit. So let me see. Xarnax finished in 1 hour, 28 minutes, and 21 seconds. Shoobinator, we saw die to the Dragon Lord after that. Did say the race was finished, but there is no final official time on that, obviously.
What? Can you hear me?
Hello.
Hello,
Hello.
Xarnax.
Hi. Am I clear?
You're a little bit quiet. How can I fix this? Oh, I can turn your volume up. Can
There
you,
we go.
Is that better?
I hope so.
Yeah, that's better.
Oh yeah, we can hear you now. Well, congratulations.
Thank you. That was nerve-wracking.
It was a very interesting race watching you two. There's a lot you don't know about what happened. Shoobinator chose a really weird name, and he had a V in his name that he might have intended to be a U, but regardless, his build was Agility MP, and because of that, he didn't have enough MP to cast Return in the beginning.
Oh no! Wow.
So yeah, that created quite a divergence in the beginning.
Yeah,
But,
I'll say.
he caught up reasonably fast and experienced, like, you were ahead, but it was basically within 1,000 most of the time.
Okay.
And so he pulled ahead when you couldn't find the Rainbow Drop Cave, but he got an extra level because of his build. So that sort of evened things out, and you were the first one to the Dragon Lord.
Huh. Man. Yeah, they were. I mean, I could have finished 20 minutes earlier if I had not been boneheaded. There were a couple things I did that were really dumb. The big one was forgetting where the rainbow